Phil White here with the Adventist Review, and today we have another special guest. I would like to have you introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Todd McFarland. I'm an Associate General Counsel for the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I also serve as the Parliamentarian for the General Conference session.
Parliamentarian, you sit up there on the stage. You were up there during all of the business sessions. Why is it essential that a business session of this nature have a parliamentarian?
So a parliamentarian's job is to advise the chair. The chair is the one making the rulings and handling the business and processing it, but a parliamentarian's job is to be there to advise, to be a second set of ears and eyes and give them advice, opinions if asked for, and also just help keep the chair on track. Things can move pretty fast, and just having another person, another helper is of assistance.
So your background is as an attorney, and is that something that's important for you to understand, perhaps the rule of law as it pertains to the Constitution of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and its interpretation, or talk to us about that?
Sure. So you don't have to be an attorney to be a parliamentarian. However, most parliamentarians at senior organizations, say for instance U.S. House, Senate, etc., are attorneys. And that's a helpful background just in understanding rules, following them, and how they integrate both the rules of order we have and our Constitution and bylaws. So yes, having a legal background is helpful, though not necessary.
So talk to us about some of the dynamics of this session, because you've got people coming from all over the world, various backgrounds and cultures. Perhaps there are differences in understanding. English is not a first language, and yet all of the documents of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Constitution, all of those things were written, church manual, first and foremost, in the English language. And so there could be some dynamic differences. Talk about how that plays out in the context of a general session.
So absolutely. The official language of the session is English. However, the significant number of the delegates, English is not either their first language or when they speak at all. We try to address that in a number of ways. For instance, the rules of order are translated into 3 other languages: French, Portuguese, and Spanish. We also provide translation, of course, for the delegates. And what's really important is just to remember to slow down, talk to the people, and explain it in a couple of different ways and multiple times so individuals can understand what's going on.
So, it sounds like your process of involvement is to help the business of the church to move forward as the New Testament describes, decently and in order.
Exactly. That's why we have rules of order, right? These are just simply agreements that we've made amongst ourselves about how we're going to conduct our business. Individuals have different views, different opinions, different outcomes they want at a session like this. So our role is just to make sure there's a common set and level, even playing field, referee position, so to speak, and in advising the chair, who's the one in charge of the meeting. So it's just to keep things orderly and in place, and to make sure that people don't either try to take advantage of the rules or ignore them.
So I don't know how many hours the business of the church went on this week, but essentially from Monday through Thursday, morning until night, you're talking about a lot of hours, and you were the parliamentarian for all of those meetings. Is that correct?
I was, yes. We started with steering committee at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I was usually done on stage about 9:15, 9:30. So it made for a long day.
Kind of almost makes you feel brain dead, maybe.
Well, yes. My boss gave me a little thing for my badge that says my brain hurts at the bottom here, and I think that's actually accurate. So I'm glad to have a day off today.
Very good. From your perspective, you don't approach the work of the Seventh-day Adventist Church from the background that many others do in leadership as trained pastors and theologians and that sort of thing. But from your perspective, what do you see are some of the greatest needs and challenges of the Seventh-day Adventist Church as it moves forward?
Well, listen, I think, making sure that we move together as a church in all these different cultures and countries, there's an incredible amount of diversity, and people like to talk about diversity and in a positive way, and diversity is great, but making sure that people from completely different parts of the world are together in mission is a challenge, and I think that's something that a general conference session like this really helps to accomplish. People to come together from around the world and see themselves as one church, not just in their local congregation, conference, union, or even division.
Thank you so much. For the Adventist Review, I'm Phil White. To check out more of our content, go to adventistreview.org.